Update. My wife found out about the affair and the pregnancy. I didn't think I'd be back here this soon, but things blew up faster than I expected. After I posted, a lot of people told me the same thing, that my wife deserved the truth and that waiting would only make things worse. I didn't sleep that night. I barely ate. I kept replaying different ways the conversation could go, and none of them ended well. The next evening, I finally told her. I asked her to sit down and said I needed to tell her something important. She looked worried immediately, which already made me feel sick. I started by admitting that I had cheated. She froze. At first, she didn't say anything. She just stared at me like she didn't understand what I was saying. Then she asked very quietly, "Are you joking?" I wasn't. I told her it had been going on for a few months. I told her it started at work. I told her I was sorry. I told her I hated myself for it. I told her I never meant to hurt her. She didn't cry right away. She just kept asking questions in this calm, almost detached voice that scared me more than yelling would have. How long? With who? Did you love her? When I told her the woman was pregnant, everything changed. She went completely still. Her face drained of colour. She asked me to repeat myself, like she hadn't heard correctly. When I did, she stood up so fast her chair fell over. She started shaking. She kept saying, "No, no, no, no," over and over. Then she started crying, not loudly, but in this broken, gasping way that I'll never forget. She asked one question that I still can't get out of my head. Why her? I didn't know how to answer. She asked if I'd done this because she couldn't have children. I tried to tell her no, that it wasn't about that. But even as I said it, I knew how hollow it sounded. She asked if I had ever loved her at all. That's when she finally broke down completely. She cried harder than I've ever seen anyone cry. She kept apologising for her body, for failing me, for not being enough. That part destroyed me. I kept telling her this wasn't her fault, that she didn't do anything wrong, but I don't think she heard any of it. At some point, she told me she needed space and asked me to leave. I packed a bag and went to stay with a friend. We didn't talk for 2 days. Then she texted me and asked me to come by so we could talk logistics. When I got there, she looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept. She told me she had spoken to her sister and a lawyer friend. She said she wasn't ready to make any final decisions, but she needed boundaries. She asked me to move out indefinitely. She said she needed time to process what I'd done without me in the house. She also said she didn't want to hear anything about the other woman or the pregnancy unless it directly affected her. Then she asked me something I wasn't prepared for. She asked if I was planning to be involved in the baby's life. I told her the truth, that I didn't know yet, but that I felt responsible and didn't want to abandon a child. She nodded slowly and said, "That tells me everything I need to know." She said she couldn't compete with a child. She said she couldn't live the rest of her life wondering if she was second place to something that came from betrayal. She didn't yell. She didn't insult me. She just looked defeated. Before I left, she said something that keeps replaying in my head. I spent years grieving the fact that I couldn't give you this. And now I find out you went and made it with someone else. I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for that sentence alone. As for Mia, she's still pregnant, she's scared, overwhelmed, and asking what I'm going to do. She says she doesn't expect me to leave my wife, but she also doesn't want to raise a child alone. She's talking about appointments, plans, and next steps. I feel like I'm standing in the middle of a disaster I created, watching everything fall apart. Right now, my wife and I are separated. She hasn't said the word divorce, but she hasn't said we'll work through this either. She asked for space, and I'm trying to respect that. I don't know what the future looks like. I know I broke her trust in the worst possible way. I know I may have permanently destroyed my marriage. And I know I created a situation where a child may grow up in the middle of my mistakes. I'm not asking for sympathy. I know what I did was wrong. I just needed to get this out somewhere because I feel like my entire life collapsed in the span of a few conversations. If anyone has been through something similar on either side, I don't even know what advice I'm asking for anymore. I just needed to say it